while I had no intentions of driving this car after I got it from the playlist, I was tuning it and found a drift suspension. So let's go look at how the Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro drifts, because it's very different from my normal drift cars, but it is pretty fun. So without further ado, my name is Zach. Welcome to Clark Creations. Let's get right into this. Alright, we are here with the Valkyrie AMR Pro here. So if you notice immediately, there is a lot of aero on this car, which is usually not something you want with a drift car. My normal drift cars, usually being the Formula drift cars, a lot of them have a little bit of like aero, like usually just a rear spoiler, big front splitter. This is a hell of a lot more than that. So we did some work to it. It is now all-wheel drive instead of rear-wheel drive, as shown there. And of course, drift angle kit. So it actually doesn't show here, but it has a way more angle. And as you can see, those are snow tires. This is that sort of off-the-wall, just super aggressive drift car. So let's just get into it. So we're going on the mountain pass, my bad. I'm struggling now that I'm recording. I'm working on the transmission tune as we speak. But, I mean, once you get after that initial hurdle of getting past the aero on the car, it actually drifts decently. It has pretty good angle. See, this is my sort of problem that I'm having with the transmission, is I'm just having a hard time setting my ratios in a place that I'm happy. This does have a 7-speed in it, as does most of my drift centered builds, where I try to keep around 5th or 6th as my two happy gears, and I hop between them whenever I'm drifting. But I will tune quite a bit around that too. I'll show you a little bit of the tune in a minute. But as you can see, I do have a little bit of a problem staying wide with it. It just doesn't like to hold like nice long drifts, and it's where the car is just gripping up and is a little bit of a challenge. But I mean, it is definitely a fun car to drift anyways. It's somewhat happy with the angle that I like to give it. It takes quite a bit to get it there, but once it's there, it likes to stay until you run out of speed. Without speed, this car does not stay sideways. So here I am just trying my best here. And I mean, it's doing most of it, but there it went again. I just lost that rear end. This is not something that I have an issue with my FD cars. I'm assuming it has to come down to the aero and then just some of the mechanical, the mechanical grip this car has compared to an FD car. Nowhere near my best run. Even with this car, I've done quite a bit better. But I mean, there it is again, just trying to cake on extra angle, and it just doesn't take. This isn't the worst drift car I've had, but tuning this to actually get angle out of it is a little tough. It doesn't take a ton of speed very well, but I mean, still pretty fun nonetheless. And I'm still on track for a 1,000,000-point run here, which is usually where I like to call if a car is even worth using for drifting. If I can't get 1,000,000 points on this, then pretty much most courses when I try to drift in, it's just not going to be that good. That's something I struggle with a little bit too here, is just getting transitions down is a little tough with this car. So like here, yeah, I start running out of momentum. It's weird. We'll run back up it again too, just to show her off so a little bit more. But I mean, it's definitely a fun car. I will have the tune link somewhere just as soon as I'm actually happy with the transmission tune. So you can give it a shot too. I think this car is really cool. It looks just awesome. I love these just crazy one-off things that companies do. Or even, not even the one-offs, but think of like Ferrari with the FXXK, or the Pagani with the Lyra BC. They're just really cool supercars, and to see the option of drift suspension on a couple of these things is hilarious. When you do stuff like this, something the car is absolutely never going to do in real life. And it's just, the chassis is truly not meant to do it, and I'm happy that Forza gives us this option for no good reason. Here's where I get kind of weird about dropping my gears down. I just dropped gear there, and it helped me some, but I started losing angle a little bit again once I started banging limiter on 5th. My 6th isn't quite close enough to compensate, so I'm thinking of shortening 6th and 7th so that I can just hop through 6th and sometimes into 7th. I'm definitely, in this uphill section, I'm just having a little bit of problem with keeping it sideways. Another big thing, it just doesn't have the same horsepower numbers as other cars. I want to say my FD cars are usually 15 to 1800, where this car is only 1000. So there's a little bit of a power difference. Of course, this is a lighter chassis than other cars, but it's still, that power difference is pretty noticeable. And here, again, a little bit of a problem with angle, where I'm just trying to fight it to get angle back. But I mean, slowly getting it. It's doing pretty good, but trying my best. It's still a little bit of a fight, but I mean, it's somewhat happy nonetheless. So, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm happy with this car. And I definitely recommend you give it a shot at least. If anything, it forces you to reconsider how you're drifting. Because there's a lot more of a thought that I have to put into that I don't really do with my FD cars to make sure that I can have any angle left through these. So this is, again, what I'm talking about. I just can't launch it like I can my FD car, so I have to just consider how I'm going to do it. Even here, I'm nowhere near enough control through that corner that I like. Part of that was I just was messed up through the previous corners, and part of it is I'm talking my way through drifting. But yeah, compared to an FD car, not as good, but still incredibly fun. And it's still a good potential drifter if you're looking for something like this. And I actually, if you're looking for a way into all-wheel drive drifting, this might just be it. Maybe not with snow tires. It seems like a lot of people have a hard time hopping over from drift to, like, off-road. So maybe start with off-roads and then go into snows. But I mean, it likes to do it. I just get into situations like that where it just, I kind of have to fight it to get it sideways. But by the time it is sideways, it's happy. There. Maybe not, a little too far. Make sure I don't hit that rock. I love to clip that for no good reason. Did that a couple times off camera with this too. Just trying to widen out my curves just to see if I can't throw it a little harder. See, like, even right here, just trying to get just a little bit more angle out of it so it holds for a little longer. And it does it sometimes, to be fair, but other times you just lose that wheel speed and you lose that just momentum the car has, and you just get nothing out of it. Like here, I'm starting to lose speed. Could have dropped down back to 5th, but it wasn't. By that point, I had lost so much, I'm not certain I could have just dropped a gear to get back into a slider if it was just legitimately just going to be fighting it all the way again. So, fun drift car to really show off to your friends that you can kind of do whatever the hell you want with whatever car you want. Yeah, this is a car. But it is a little tough to go high score here. I'm about 100k off my record here in a car like this. So that's the big thing there. I'm gonna go try out a couple more spots to show y'all too that I like too, but this is really the proving grounds here to figure out if I like a car or not. And it's doing pretty good. It's definitely a better run. But like right there, I just struggled to get angle back to it. Everything I tried to do, it just wouldn't do. I'm in 4th right now. Don't usually drop down to 4th. But just trying different things to see how this car feels at different transmission, or different points in my transmission table. And sometimes it takes it, sometimes it doesn't. Like, right about here in my FD car, I'm at about 920. Whereas I was just at about 830, 820, something like that, right around there. And it's like, there's only so much that this car is going to be able to do. See, like right there, I almost lost it there. Usually a little past a mil right here. A mil right here, regardless, really good. Losing a lot of speed through there. Trying everything to take on just a little bit more angle. We're doing pretty good to do that. We're at over 1.1. Okay, I'm only about, I think, 50 off there. Not bad, not bad. So we're gonna hop to another drift zone real quick and show you what it's like in a smaller drift zone as opposed to the mountain that, depending on which direction you go, is a huge and massive difference whether you're going down or up. For another drift zone I like here, and I want to see just how this car does here. This is definitely a slower zone, but that does help me a little bit with angle. This car's doing okay through this corner. That's something I kind of struggle with in my other cars, is, slowing down here did a lot to having to just reconsider how to do that. Definitely not bad though. And we're gonna have to swing back around one time like that. Where does that put me compared to my 226? Not that far off. I want to see just where I get here again. By the way, if this is your first video watching on this car generally, incredibly good handling car. It's missing a lot of top speed, to be honest with you. And I'm largely assuming that's off the aero. But I mean, this is a very grippy car, which kind of makes drifting a little weird. A lot of angle, really good. I'm gonna stay in 5th here, so why not? It's happy here. I'm gonna pull into 6th here at the very end of the run, see what happens. Okay, about 7,000 off top. I mean, it's happy. It's happy. It definitely, if this is like your intro to, this is your intro to all-wheel drive, like, take it. This is a very fun car. It's not going to be your highest potential for drifting, or at least it shouldn't. You should move into FD cars pretty quickly. But, I mean, this thing has enough grip that I think it's a little more tough to lose it at low angle, like around here, compared to an FD car. A lot of times with an FD car, if you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to slide off the pavement very quickly. But I don't find myself having the same problem here. I do kind of have a problem again with just losing speed. There's only so much this car is willing to do before it just drops speed. Got that angle entirely wrong. Again, it doesn't like to hold that angle great until you get well past what I'm comfortable with. It is a very goofy car to drift, I will say that much. Oh, that section was perfect. That felt very good. Very, very far off of angle. Or the angle's very far on it for that one. backing that thing up through that corner was very nice. So, I mean, there's a lot to be done with this car drift-wise. It's very fun. Even if it's not my best car for drifting, it's still very fun. Again, didn't properly set myself up for that corner, but make no mistakes, this is not going to be your world record-setting car. But especially for casual, really throwing it up, yeah, showing your friends just the crazy shit to drift with, this is it. Had to do some weird shit to get back there. I was just missing it there. Trying to set my angle a little better here. A little off. Not horrible. I do really want to go for a better run. We're going to give myself quite a bit more space to set myself up. But I think this would be the run. I know what I'm doing with the car now. I want to see just how aggressive I can get my angle. Just set my angle just really high here. It only takes so much. Let's not spin it. Held that pretty well. Set a very high angle thanks to the distraction. And just really trying to set my angle high here. Drop into fourth, not really what I want to do. Pull back up to fifth. Set even more angle through there. Very nice, felt very good. Gonna go hold quite a bit of angle again here, just doing our best to hold it. Gonna go up into sixth to finish this off at 219. I think that's about the best we're going to be able to do with this car. Like I said, not going to be the car that you're going to be setting your world records in. Not going to be a car I don't ever expect to be that high into the leaderboards, but it felt great nonetheless. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap things up, so let's flip back over to my main screen. Alright, like I said, if it wasn't on screen already at some point in this video, it's going to be down in the description, and that's going to be just my tune code. I want you to give it a shot. Obviously, I'm not saying this is going to be your best drift car. I haven't reiterated that enough. This thing is a hell of a lot of fun to try out, and I'm so happy that Forza put a drift suspension on this thing at all. There's really no reason for him to, but I'm happy to go and find these just off-the-wall cars to drift with. And honestly, pretty simple to tune this. There's a couple people that I've watched. The best person to watch for just understanding how to tune here is go to Hoki Hoshi. If I remember to, I'll link him his drift. He has a drift tuning video and a normal just car tuning video generally, and is pretty much how I drift and otherwise tune my cars. It's just following his stuff. Learn to tune it yourself, and you will find exactly how you like it, because the biggest downside for this car is a lack of horsepower, meaning your transmission tune is incredibly important for this, as opposed to something like an FD car where you can, that extra 500 to 800 horsepower that you get out of that car really will let you make more mistakes. That just dropping a gear there and pulling back forward, as opposed to a car like this, it's just a little more comfortable. And with that, if you download my tune or even just try the car drifting at all, let me know in the comments. And with that, have a good one.